Okay, welcome to the K-Files, everybody. And I'm finding out, hey JP.
Good morning, Miss Sandra.
How are you?
Good, good, good.
Good. I'm finding out how many people really watch us. You know, I wondered how many people transitioned over into the K-Files after the morning show one time. And now I'm hearing, you know, people love the K-Files. So we gotta do these cases because they really do like it. But this morning, we just want to kind of recap. The election's over. Mm-hmm. I feel less tired now. I don't know what it is. I feel like,
yeah,
I
feel less tired, but for some reason I'm more engaged and watching the news right now.
I'm
Who's
so the next person on the team?
On these picks. I've been really, energized by seeing these picks from the transition team.
I don't think he's going to get Matt Gaetz through.
Yeah, I saw overnight where some Republicans have leaked that they're going to sabotage him in the Senate. But
I don't like
God,
him.
it would. Now, me personally, I love that pick. I love his pick for Department of Defense Secretary. I mean, I love it.
Yeah,
they're just out of the norm.
Yes,
they're
they are.
Out of
he
the
went
norm
out of the
picks.
box this time.
He did. You know, in 2016, he didn't know who was on his team. Mm-hmm. He didn't know who was going to have his best interest at heart.
Yes.
And this go round, he knows that he's going to. He needs to put people in place that are on his team.
That's right. And I think by now, I mean, these are people that helped him get there. Mm-hmm. They really are. And who's the biggest shocker to you?
Gaetz.
Really? Mm-hmm. Well, I guess I could say that because his name was never mentioned. Mm-hmm. He came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. He's already resigned from Congress.
I know.
He resigned yesterday. So that's a done deal. But look at his educational background. I mean, he went to William and Mary. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He is an attorney, and William and Mary. I mean, that is a prestigious college. I mean,
it is.
He's got a long background in politics. His grandfather were big in the Republican Party and politics. I mean, he is a diehard MAGA Trumper.
He is, and he is passionate.
And he's
about
called
what
out.
He believes.
He's called out Ray. He's called out the corruption in the FBI. He's called out the deep state, the swamp, as you might call it. And supposedly he's already made recommendations to Trump to fire Ray on day one.
Well, they should.
They should.
They've got a clean house. If anybody has experienced firsthand how bad the Secret Service is, it's Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He knows personally how bad they are. He almost died because of it.
Yeah. If you had told me 15 years ago, 10 years ago, that you would have FBI agents texting each other about how to take down or frame a sitting president, I would have told you that's a lie. I would have told you there's no truth in it.
I know.
And look at what we know now.
I know. It's just, he's got to clean out the FBI. He's got to clean out the Secret Service. He's got to clean out the Department of Justice, period.
Mm-hmm. Look at Elon Musk. I think Elon Musk fired or laid off 86% of Twitter when he bought it. And it works just as efficient today as it did 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. So it just goes to show you that there are some things that can be trimmed and cleaned up, even in, who knows, the federal government.
That's exactly
So I like that pick as far as Elon and what's his name? Vic Swami?
Yeah, Vivek
Ramaswamy.
Vivek.
To kind of go in and target cuts in spending, how they can save taxpayers money.
How we don't have to do research on monkeys.
Yeah, anything.
Did you see that?
No, but it doesn't shock me.
It said they spent, golly, I couldn't believe the research on monkeys. Come on.
Yeah.
Let the monkeys go. Golly. Well, the monkeys got out somewhere. Did you see
in
that?
South Carolina, they captured one, right?
I'm glad the monkeys got away, but they have captured them back.
Have they captured all of them?
I think just one I saw or two. I don't know. No, they haven't.
Now, I will tell you that my kids, we went to Trump's first inauguration in 2017. We got up election night when we realized that he had won. We went online. We've reached out to Tom Tillis. We've reached out to Ted Budd's office. We've reached out to Don Davis to try to get some tickets to attend his next inauguration. We've made reservations, and my family and I, we're going to look
That's
forward
going
to
to be fun. You got to get pictures. You got to bring a lot of pictures.
Yeah, oh, believe me, we will.
You got to bring some
if we can
pictures.
snag some tickets. If we can snag some
Well, I
tickets.
hope you can. I really hope you can. I'm going to stay put for this one after last January's mess. But anyway, so yeah, it should be good. It's always fun to go to inaugurations. So this will be a really good one, and I know a lot of people that are going look forward to it. So anyway, but you know, if anything came out of this, I think the Democrats realize how they their messages no longer resonate with their own party.
Yeah, with rank and file Americans who get up and go to work every day, who are struggling to pay the bills, who are struggling to put food on the table, who are struggling to make a house payment.
Right.
They lost their way with these people.
Yes.
And these people turned out and they voted for Donald Trump.
It's unbelievable that, you know, the blue wall, every state voted for Trump. He won, and he won every single one of the 7
Swing states.
swing states. I couldn't say swing states. But yeah, he won all of the swing states. I mean, this was a message from the people, every party. It was a message from everybody to the swamp. You know, we are tired of your mess.
And you know, a lot of people want to portray this as like Republicans put Trump in office. Let me tell you something. Democrats and unaffiliated and independent voters put this man back in office.
Yes.
Minorities put this man back in office. Hispanic populations put this man back in office. Women put this man back in office. So don't buy that some right-wing conspiracy put this man back. No.
He couldn't have got this big of a wave
Nope.
with just Republicans.
That's right.
It's impossible.
He wouldn't have won.
No. So, you know, those people that are losing their minds, I'm so sorry. You know, people are really crying and really sick. Why don't you wait? Just wait to see how much better your life might be before you get all, you know, I wonder how many has gone to the hospital because of it. I mean, honestly, their blood pressure, and they're just going crazy.
Colleges have been canceling classes. They've been putting therapy in places for students who can't come to class and get an excuse. Give me a break.
And they're blaming us as citizens that voted this way. They're saying they hate us. They said it's all your fault. How could you do this? Excuse me, but I can vote the way I want to vote, and so can you, and that is fine. That's the beauty of it. But you
I
lost.
voted this way because I love my country.
Right.
And I voted this way, more importantly, because I have 3 young children, and I voted this way because of their future.
That's right.
And that's the way I looked at
That's
it.
the way you have to look at it. So, absolutely. So, anyway, we will see who. They said there are several other. There is one thing I don't quite get yet. What is the holdup on Robert Kennedy? I thought that would have been a
You know,
first
yeah,
out of the gate.
and I did. I think rather than giving him a secretary position, like with Health and Human Services or something like that, they're going to put him, kind of like what they did with Elon. They're going to create something for him somewhere.
Right.
I don't know that it's going to be an actual cabinet level position, and this is just my opinion. That's what I think. They're looking where they can put him that will be the best fit.
Right. Well, they haven't named DHHS yet, so
True.
So I don't know who that will be. I'm trying to think of who that. I kind of feel the way you do. I think if he was going to name him as head of DHHS, I think he would have already done it. So I don't know who that's going to be.
Now, when I got home last night, my kids were like, Dad, my kids, they're 23, 22. They like to go through these different chat rooms or what have you on the internet
Right.
and read different conspiracy theories. Apparently yesterday, Trump and Biden was only supposed to meet 45 minutes to an hour.
Right.
And they wound up meeting for like 2.
Wow. I didn't know how long they met.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when the meeting was over, Trump kind of slid out.
Right.
Okay. And they're saying in these chat rooms that Biden said, look, basically, I need a favor.
Oh.
I've
here it comes.
promised the American people that I would not pardon my son. Now, we can handle this one of 2 ways. If you'll give me your assurances that you'll pardon my son, I won't resign early because Kamala has promised she will. And for the betterment of the country, I'll take it one step further. I'm going to pardon you first.
I wish to goodness he would. because
To
it's
bring
his fault
healing to the
anyway.
country, I'm going to pardon you first. And I'm going to fire Jack Smith and wind this down starting today.
Wow.
After this meeting, look at what come out.
Wow.
Jack Smith or the Justice Department announced that Jack Smith is out.
Really?
Yes, it is over. He's already filed paperwork yesterday that indicates he's winding everything down. It's over. So it'll be interesting to see
Oh, wow.
if they did broker some sort of a... And I will say this, in the best interest of the country moving forward,
Yes.
I would support that.
Yeah, I would too. I mean, they need to get rid of this stuff.
Yeah.
Just
put it behind
Let's get rid of these old, bones of contention in the administration, and let's start fresh and move forward for the American people, and hurry up and help us out with the economy and get. It is so scary. These illegal immigrants. Did you see what they did in New York to the man's jewelry store?
No.
Oh my gosh, they cut a hole in the roof. It was a bunch of them, and it's said they think they're members of a gang, but they were illegal Mexicans that were in New York at a man's jewelry store, Long Island, I believe it was. Cut a hole in his roof, just went in there and took, I said, you know what? This has got to go.
Mm-hmm.
It's just got to stop. So, but it makes me mad with the state of New York. They are inundated with immigrants. They are in the streets. They are fighting. They are killing. They are doing all of these horrible things in the streets of New York. And New York votes the way they do.
Yep. And ultimately,
So do
that's what
you
it's about.
like that? Do you like this kind of behavior?
But that's why if you look at how Trump performed in California, how he performed, look, he put New Jersey within striking distance of flipping New Jersey red.
Right.
So his popularity in these dark blue states, I mean, look at how many counties in California were dark blue 4 years ago, and they're red today.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. And they
People
put
are
that
seeing the light.
prosecutor in their place. Wasn't it a prosecutor that kept on and on? He was known to be very lenient and let people go or
In
let them out
California?
on bond. Yes.
Yeah, he was about to let the Menendez brothers
Yeah.
out, and it cost him the election.
I don't know how I feel about the Menendez thing. I don't know. Did they really go through that?
I think justice was served.
Okay. I don't know what really happened, but if that really happened, that's kind of horrible. But then again, then why did they do things after? I don't know. That's a hard one for me to
It
call.
is.
It's a hard one for me to call.
children who turn around and point fingers at parents for abusing them, sexually or not, there's usually indicators on a timeline that other family members and friends pick up on. Okay, and in this case, there were none. Okay, I think it was just some spoiled kids that were filthy rich, and they just took the notion and killed their parents.
Well, if that's the case, then justice was served.
You know.
So it's just, I don't know, but there's so much going on. We'll see who the next picks are. There are several other high-ranking positions, I understand. I didn't think it was that many left, but they said this morning that they were still, they'll be still appointing the high-ranking positions today and moving forward. So we'll see what happens with the Department of Health and Human Services and whatever else is left.
Outside of cabinet positions, there's almost 5,000 positions that's got to be filled.
Yeah, there is a lot to be done.
Yeah.
Yes. So anyway, and he's jumping on it.
He is.
He is jumping on it. He said Elon is staying at Mar-a-Lago so that they can, consult every day, I'm sure. And he said Trump made the comment, I can't get rid of him now. So anyway, it's kind of funny. But that was a joke that he made. But anyway, all right, we've got to go to break. We'll be right back with you with some cases right after this. And welcome back to the K-Files. So it's kind of, if you're new to the K-Files, and we do have some new viewers from what I understand, so the way it works is we are under the umbrella of a non-profit 401(c), and we raise money. We have a spring, we didn't have one this year, but we have a spring fling kind of thing out at the mills, and we have bouncy houses and all kinds of things, and you come out and you buy tickets for this and that, and all of the money goes back into the pot, because we want to be able to give funds for tips, because sometimes money is a motivator. Sometimes it is. It's a shame that it is, but it is. And so we have up to $15,000 in the pot, and law enforcement determines how valuable your tip is, and they let us know how much they think it is worth, and we will pay you if you give a tip. There's the number, the hotline number right there. You can always call 977-1111 Crime Stoppers. And Rocky Mount, if it's a Rocky Mount case, you can always do text to tip, which is right there. Anyway, we want you, law enforcement says that you are their best resource. I mean, everybody knows something about every case in this book. So, and if you want a book, you can certainly come down to WHIG, and we'll be glad to give you a book. And you can follow along with us as we go through this book and go through the cases. But if you know anything, we would appreciate you giving. Our two main reasons for doing this is to get people off the street, because they re-offend. They do this again. I mean, statistics show that most of the people that are not caught have done other crimes, gone on to do other crimes, or have already done other crimes before this particular crime. Because don't they start out kind of small,
and then they progress just worse and worse
as they
get
by with it?
That is correct.
It just progresses, and then they murder somebody, and they end up in this book. The victim ends up in this book. So
and then a judge usually reduces their bond, and they get out of jail, and then they kill somebody else.
Exactly, and that's a whole nother topic.
It is
that we need to talk about one day. But anyway, so that's kind of how it works. We appreciate you working with law enforcement to give us tips, and it is anonymous. We don't want to know who you are. Law enforcement doesn't tell us who you are, and that's not important to me. It's just important that another reason is to give families closure, that families get closure and we take people off the street. I mean, that's what's important to me and JP. So,
And look, shout out to Gold Valley Church of God. They invited me over last night. One of the things that I do is I go to churches and I give free safety presentations.
Which is great.
For church families, for families in general, to the congregation, trying to get them to think, especially this time of year, you know, where to park your car, little things to think about when you're leaving the store, because
things that we don't think about because we're in a rush and we're not thinking.
And see, this time of year, I mean, you'll walk into the mall thinking you're going to be in there for 15 minutes. It's daylight. You come out and it is pitch black, just like that. Just little things to be mindful of at home. A lot of women, you know, they live alone. Their husbands have gone on, and church security details. But this is something that we do absolutely free. So if your church would love to have us come out, please reach out. I'd love to come and do a free safety presentation for you or your church, something like that.
You ought to do it on here.
You know what? We need to look into doing that.
Well, it's holiday and the Christmas shopping is going on, so why don't next Thursday we get you for a few minutes to go over some things, because the holidays are upon us and we're going out, we're in a rush, we've got our friends with us and we're yapping, you know, women, you know us, me too, we're yapping, and we're not thinking about our surroundings and what's going on. So, and one of the creepiest things to me is somebody asked me yesterday, do you lock your car when you get out of it for a few minutes? And I said, yes. One of my biggest fears is somebody being in the back of my car. Oh, and it happens. And then they hold you up at gunpoint and tell you to drive somewhere. Oh, no. That really... And that happened with me. I get scared.
That exact scenario happened at the mall right after it opened.
Yes, it did.
I remember that exact scenario.
Yes. So you don't want to be. So let's let JP. I put him on the spot this morning, and didn't ask him off camera. So now he's got to do it.
Fine with me. I love it. I love it.
So next week you'll be getting some holiday tips about safety on the show, maybe one of the segments. So please tune in next week and let's hear this. So anyway, we'll let you get started.
You know, I had a good friend of mine who is a school teacher down in Smithfield, Selma area, reach out to me about a case. It's a family friend of hers. This case that we're going to talk about, Albert Dew. Albert Dew. She said, JP, if you would, please, touch on this case. And it just so happens it fell in line with where we are in the book. This case is from January 27th, 2021. Albert Dew, around 8:50 p.m., Rocky Mount Police responded to a report of shots fired in the 1400 block of South Franklin Street in Rocky Mount. When they arrived, they found a vehicle crashed into a home. Upon further investigation, they found Albert E. Dew had a gunshot wound. Emergency personnel pronounced him dead at the scene. The family would love to see some movement in this. I know Rocky Mount's still working the case. I know it's a kind of a cold case. Folks, this just goes to show you this case is 3, almost 4 years old. I know there's people out there that know facts on this case that they could share.
Well, there might not have been witnesses to this. He had an accident and ran into a home because he was shot.
That's right. He was
and
panicking.
He lost control.
He was trying to get help.
Yes,
I guarantee you that's what was going on.
And if there were no witnesses, which it would be a shame if it won't, but this person that did this, that shot him, talked to somebody.
Oh, no doubt they've bragged about it.
Yeah,
no
doubt. They bragged about it. They talked about it. Out there, somebody out there knows what this person did to Albert Dew.
That's right.
So you need to come forward you need to, there's a text tip. It is a Rocky Mount case because it's Franklin Street in the city. Franklin Street is right over there by City Hall, as a matter of fact. So if you know anything, please come forward. And we also have another number you can call if you don't want to do text to tip. We can put that number up that you can call. There's Crime Stoppers, and then there's our regular number. So if anybody knows something, please call, because you can get paid, and you can get paid pretty quickly in a couple of days in cash money, and we will not know who you are. So,
and it is the holiday season.
Yes.
What better time to share what information you know and get paid for it?
That's exactly right. You want some Christmas shopping money? Come forward.
This next case is one we've talked about several times. We've had the Highway Patrol on. We've talked with Nash County about it, Middlesex about it. This is the case of Philip Lee Willoughby. Philip Lee Willoughby. From November 27th, 2020. In the morning hours, Nash County Sheriff's Office and the State Highway Patrol responded to a hit and run involving a pedestrian on NC 231 in Nash County, down in the Middlesex area. It was at the city limits. Upon arrival, troopers discovered a deceased male who was identified as Philip Lee Willoughby Jr. of Middlesex. Mr. Willoughby had been struck by an unknown vehicle, and the vehicle fled the scene after impact. Investigators believe that he ran out of gas on the night of November 27th, 2020, left his car at a nearby Dollar General, and was walking home when he was hit. A Middlesex police officer spoke with him earlier that night, but Willoughby had told him that he was waiting on a ride. At last check, the keys to his vehicle were never found. His cell phone was found several days later in an area that had already been searched multiple times by law enforcement.
This case just always intrigues me. I just, I don't know. I just can't wrap my head around it. So it was more than, and I think there's a lot of suspicion around this.
There's a lot of
Isn't there a lot of
different
talk
stories
around this case?
They know that looking at camera footage that he was inside the Dollar General in Middlesex. They know that he was seen on camera with what appears to be a large amount of cash. It just looks like it on camera. There are people in line that have been questioned that clearly saw him with this cash.
Wow. Don't flash your cash.
Don't. These people who were in line behind him, they go out and get in their vehicle. He is seen later at another convenience store, and they believe that these other people are in their vehicle circling this other convenience store while he was inside. Okay, and then factor in several days later, these people were picked up because they had his debit card.
Wow. Let's see, we have a call. Good morning.
Good morning, live morning show.
Good morning. We're doing the K-Files right now, okay?
K-Files. Well, I'm just calling in to check up and see how things are going.
Okay, they're going fine.
All right, we'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. So
that's strange.
It is.
I'm not saying they did it, but how were you seen on camera where this gentleman was at, the last two places he was at? How were you captured using his debit card at a local Walmart?
Exactly.
I'm sorry, but that's.
Do you think they have any suspects?
This is a case where they do have some suspects, or a suspect, but it's like, threading a needle. I mean, it's
Here we go again.
It's
Gotta
getting
be
to that
proven.
threshold. That's right, beyond a reasonable doubt.
That's tough.
Because if you go and you don't have your ducks in a row and you charge this person and he's found not guilty, and then you get more evidence later, you can't charge him again.
Wow.
So you got to.
Now, you're from the Bailey, Middlesex area. Did you know him?
I did not know him, but unfortunately, I know the people, I know the family, I know the person that they suspect of doing this, and I can see it.
Wow.
I can see it.
Well, so do they say that that Philip Willoughby was a good person?
Yeah, great guy.
This shouldn't have happened. Great person, never in trouble.
That's right. This was one of those
He was
cases.
just
It
a
was
true
completely
victim.
random act of violence.
Don't you just hate it when that happens?
Yeah,
To just a
completely
really good
random act.
person. And this is what you call a true victim. Sometimes, people have been in trouble and they're doing drugs and they get involved with a drug. I mean, that's kind of your fault.
Yeah.
I mean, you're on the drug. But then you come up with these people that have never bothered anybody and they're just a true victim.
Yeah.
So, that's just, every time I look at this case, I'm just always
There's a lot of little pieces of evidence, but there's no one big piece to where the sheriff's office or the highway patrol or Middlesex can pull the trigger and make that case strong enough to go to court to get a conviction.
I think it's
That's
kind of
where
like
they're at.
Randy Colgrove. See, it's the same way. They kind of suspect, but it just can't be proven.
Yeah. My personal opinion in this case is it involves multiple people. It's just a matter of time before one turns on the other.
Yes.
And when they do, this case is going to it's going to go somewhere. That's how I feel about it.
Well, his family needs closure.
Yeah.
They need to know what happened to Philip Lee Willoughby, their loved one. So I hope somebody will find it in their heart to do the right thing and turn them in and make some money, get some cash. So, okay, we got to go to break, get some weather. We'll be right back with you right after this. Okay, welcome back to the K-Files. We'll go ahead with our next case. We don't have a lot on it, but we will bring the case up.
I'm going to try to pronounce this Stashaya.
Stashawa is
Stashawa,
what
okay.
they were telling me.
Stashawa Lynch. This case is from January 11th, 2021. Around 10 o'clock p.m., Stashawa Lynch was shot and killed in his vehicle on Fairview Road at Cokie Road in Edgecombe County. A female who was in the vehicle was injured as well. And that's all we have. Fairview Road, Cokie Road, that's like you're going out towards West Edgecombe School, right?
Yes, and Fairview Road ends right there at Cokie Road.
Like Pat's Drive-In.
Yes. Well, yeah, on up to Cokie Road, which there is a stop sign. And I remember that whoever was doing it when we first started this brought a picture of the stop sign, the road, the intersection is where Fairview Road intersects with Cokie Road. But he showed a picture of the stop sign and all of that, and he was sitting there at the stop sign, and there was a female in the car, and she was injured. But I mean, do you mean she couldn't tell you anything?
I know.
I mean, she lived through it, so she couldn't tell you anything. I mean, the car, I guess, sped away or whatever, but anyway, I always wondered why she couldn't be a witness.
Yeah.
And saw the color of the car. But for all we know, they have the color of the car and the make of the car. We don't know that they don't. They're just not telling us because it is part of the case, so they may just not be telling us. But anyway, just sitting there and got shot in his car. So 10 p.m. at night. If anybody knows anything about Joshua Lynch, please let law enforcement know. There's the hotline number right there. Okay.
This next case, we have a little more information. Jordan Elijah Clayton. Jordan Elijah Clayton. This case is from February 8th, 2021. Around 3:40 p.m. in the afternoon, Rocky Mount Police responded to the 1900 block of Vernon Road in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. When they arrived, they found Jordan Clayton in the roadway with a gunshot wound. Clayton died at the scene. His family is adding $5,000 in additional funds to any other money awarded.
Wow. Just think about what you can get if you come forward on this case. $5,000 plus whatever Team Cold Case is going to give you.
So you could theoretically receive up to $20,000. Absolutely could.
So Vernon Road is in Meadowbrook. You know, this weekend there was a lot of shootings over. Meadowbrook is just having a rough time right now. And that is right over there by D.S. Johnson School, Fairview Road, that subdivision right there. Anyway, Vernon Road is right over there. So hopefully somebody will come forward with this case because somebody knows something. Somebody knows something about every case, as we said in this book. So if you know about Jordan Elijah Clayton, please come forward.
You know, I don't know how old he was at the time, but this picture looks like he was a high school kid.
It does. It does. It doesn't give his age. So, and we do have right much information about the next case too.
This next case is from February 13th, 2021. Taquan Shaquille Moody. Taquan Shaquille Moody. On February 13th, 2021, at 11:53 p.m., deputies with the Halifax County Sheriff's Office responded to a breaking and entering incident at a home on Everett School Road in Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina. Upon arrival, the deputies noticed that there was a forced entry through a side door. Taquan Shaquille Moody was shot and killed during this home invasion. His great-grandmother, Miss Mabel Johnson, was struck in the head and knocked unconscious by these same intruders. The governor's office is offering an additional reward of $5,000 to this case as well.
Wow. Hey, you can get some good Christmas money right here.
Yep.
Cash. You sure can. If you will come forward. Well, gosh, that's terrible. I mean, home invasions is another thing that just scares me to death.
That's my biggest fear, and I've talked about it. I mean, you don't see it coming.
No.
It just happens in a split second.
Yes.
1, 2, and usually during a home invasion, it's multiple people that come in.
Yes.
It's not just one guy.
That's exactly right.
It's 3 or 4, and they just come in, faces covered, weapons in hand.
Yes.
And it's a bad situation, and it can be a very deadly situation quickly. Because usually at home, you stop and think, like in this situation, grandmother was, this was at 11 o'clock, midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Where were they? Everybody was probably safely tucked away in their beds.
They probably were.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And that's why I was telling that group last night, have a mindset of what would I do if? What would I do if?
Yes. You need to have a plan just in case. I mean, you can't say, well, that's not going to happen to me.
That's right.
Because you don't know. So, yes, they didn't probably have a plan and probably didn't expect this at all.
Didn't see it coming, guarantee it.
And, this his poor great-grandmother, she had to be elderly because she was his great-grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
So, she was very elderly, and he lost his life, and we don't know the outcome of her, but she was knocked unconscious in the head. So, anyway, there is an extra $5,000, as you said, to go, so you could get up to $20,000 with this case as well. So,
And the
anyway.
people who perpetrated this are the kind of people that need to be locked away forever.
Yes, absolutely. Well, whatever happened to, we need to find out what happened with the case in Halifax County with the two couples that were playing cards, and the home invasion, the people came in, and then somebody went to jail, but then they got out.
From what I understand, there was an arrest or several arrests were made. They were put into county jail. I think the DA made the decision, or somebody made a decision. We don't quite have the level of evidence that we need to get a conviction.
Here we go again.
So the decision was made to release these people, release these suspects in the community. But now, from what I've been told, there were 2 or 3 or 4 suspects. And from what I've been told, almost all of them have been found dead.
Yes, that's kind of what I remember.
Like one at a time. Like,
yes.
They found this one dead, they found this one dead, they found this one. That's what I've been told.
Well, that's kind of what I was told. So we need to probably just
Confirm
check on
that,
it and
yeah.
confirm and see what happened with that case. They'd have probably been better off to stay in jail. But anyway, or prison, or wherever they were. But anyway, I was just curious. This home invasion made me think of that. So, that one. All right. Well, that's all for today. That's all the cases for today. Next week, we will see if we can. I'm going to make an attempt to see if we can get Edgecombe County to come as well. You'll talk about safety in one of the segments. We're going to try to get Captain Tender here to talk about the case in Edgecombe County that was solved. This will be their week, the 3rd week in the month for Edgecombe County. So we're going to try to get Captain Tender to come and talk about that case that was solved. So you can see how you can certainly, by calling in a tip, solve a case and get some money. So anyway, want to talk about that case and maybe some more details of it next week if we can get Edgecombe County to come if they're not busy. So anyway, that's all for
Sounds
today.
like a plan.
Thank you, JP, for being with me today, and we'll see you next week.